So, I'm going to be leading you through this presentation about self-care and organization. And so I made this presentation, my name is Ananya, by the way, and I made this presentation with another member of the Youth Advisory Council meeting. She couldn't join us today, so I'll just be explaining you a little bit about self-care and organization. So here's some of the parts of the message that we're going to get to. We're going to talk a little bit about time management, making decisions for you, using the resources that are available to you, and finding acceptance and being okay being overwhelmed, because everyone experiences like stress and has a hard time sometimes taking care of themselves while doing these things. So to start off, it's okay to be overwhelmed anything, and being vulnerable is not a sign of being weak, and you shouldn't be afraid of that. So like if you're having a hard time with things, it's okay, it's fine, and it's okay to ask for help when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, and you can tell people about it because talking to people can help. And just the most important thing is to try to make a plan and start thinking about things. You can take action. Okay, so our second tip is that you can start taking time for yourself. And that's really important because a lot of times in day-to-day life, you can get caught up in a lot of things and a lot of stress because a lot of things are really stressful, like school. Like I'm in high school, so I get stressed when I have a lot going on, or just at work, or when you're being involved in lots of great things to change the world. It can be stressful. So there are a lot of different ways that you can de-stress, like you can work out, you can talk to your friends and family, you can journal or write things, and you can make art, and you can do lots of stuff. But the important thing is to make some time and do whatever you want, watch TV a little bit, and just relax, because that's the important part, and you shouldn't overwhelm yourself, or like you don't want to burn out. A fun little doodle that I found on the internet, and it's just some examples of what you can do to have self-care. So some of the things you can do are like staying healthy, getting plenty of sleep, cleaning things up, read about other people's lives. Maybe if you have a hobby like gardening or cooking or doing something like that that comforts you and distracts your mind off things, you can definitely do those kind of things. You can write or draw, talk to yourself, have some animals, that's always fun, take a walk, get active, talk to people who you're comfortable with. There's so many ways that you can just take care of yourself. You just have to remember to do that. And yeah, don't feel overwhelmed by doing any of that. So yeah. And another thing is stress, because stress is something that we definitely all deal with, because a lot of times it can be difficult to face certain situations. So some of the things about how you can reduce stress is getting enough sleep. So that's really important. I know it's kind of hard to do that in today's always changing society and everything, and like, oh, it's always busy. But make sure you get sleep, just whatever your body needs, that's important. And then eat healthy, like eat well-balanced meals. Make sure you're getting enough nutrition and stuff like that, because your health is important to stress. Another thing is exercise and take care of yourself. Just, yeah, it's important to be physically healthy in order to be mentally healthy also. Managing your time, that's really important, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And you can talk to people, like opening up to people, that's also pretty important. And take a break, like take time for yourself, and remember to breathe, and have a good attitude, that's also really important. Just have a nice outlook on life. And tip number 3 is be aware of what you need and just everything like that. So it's important to know your limits, because if you get caught up in other things, it will be really hard for you to deal with things, and that's not good. You should know where you're pushing yourself and where it's okay to stop, and make sure you make the right decisions for yourself. You don't need to do things to make other people happy, like the fun little typography on the right. Um, and definitely have self-evaluation, know yourself, and know what you're comfortable doing and things like that. And don't be afraid to say no to commitments. It can seem really overwhelming sometimes if you're just committed to a lot of things, but in order to do what you're passionate about, it's okay to say no to things that you're not passionate about. And that's just a lesson that you can learn through the process. All right. So now, time management. Time management is really important because time management basically allows you to have the time to do the things that you need to do. And if you don't manage your time, you procrastinate a lot, it's just going to get more difficult. And this is not exactly how to avoid procrastination, but it's just how to keep on track and keep managing your time the most effective way that you can. So number one thing is keeping a schedule, because you only have a certain amount of time in every day. So does everyone. And you have definitely so many amounts of obligations and things that you need to do. So you should use a system to schedule out all those things. It's going to be really helpful. And then another thing that's really important is just make sure you keep your system limited to 2 places or 1, because if you put things in a lot of different places, then you'll end up forgetting things, leaving things out, and it kind of ruins the effect of having a system in the first place. So use a system. Some of the things that I like to use are, I like to have my stuff in a Google Calendar because it's digital, it's easy, and if that works for you, it's great. And then I also like to have a physical planner. And for a while, I had like a bullet journal, which is a different system you can look into if you're interested, which you can see on the left-hand side illustration. And also, don't switch and multitask when you're doing things, because that's just going to be ineffective and it'll keep you distracted. So a helpful tip is, if things come up while you're doing something, write it down on your phone or in a physical planner or things like that, and just don't switch tasks while you're working on something. And whatever you do, make sure you schedule it in your system to keep yourself accountable. And yeah, you can also make to-do lists, which are really helpful just for life, and that can be really effective for time management. But it's important not to keep making lists and lists and being overwhelmed, working through them and not much on yourself. Just make sure, again, don't be afraid to say no to people. And then, yeah, you can put away all your distractions and work more quickly if you're able to manage your time better. Okay. Is staying organized. So if things won't pile up so much. For example, in your email inbox, if you just check it a few times, you get a moment like every few days, it won't accumulate as much, which is pretty simple, and it can get hard to remember to keep doing all these things, but it's important that you keep doing it and you keep working on it, and you just do a little bit at a time, because the most overwhelming part is getting started. So that's where you just have to take the first step and go for it. Another thing is cleaning. Just make sure you clean your room like every few days, and just make sure that you don't let things pile up, which is when it gets overwhelming. And even if it is overwhelming, the most important thing is just getting over that anxiety to get started, which is just taking the first step. And yeah, make sure you schedule in time to organize. So, like going back to time management, always use your system and stick to it. Keep it scheduled and schedule it in when you're doing things. Schedule in time to organize. Schedule in time to arrange your planning and get ready for the week and all of those different things. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have in the slide presentation. But the most important thing is just to keep your attitude positive and remember that you're amazing and you are capable of doing so many things with all of your tools in life. So if you feel overwhelmed about anything, ask for help, make a plan, try to find out the truth in the situation, and manage your time. Take time for your needs, and you will be able to achieve anything. And yeah, so I hope you took away something from this and you enjoyed hearing about this. And I think I will leave right now, but hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned something today. And yeah, be effective, manage your time, be stressed, manage your health, take care of yourself because you can only take care of the world when you take care of yourself.